Hi, how's it going? This is Resin of Collinwood for YouTube, and I'm back with my final video for tonight. It is about the old house in Dark Shadows. That's right, the original Collinwood, according to Elizabeth Collins Stoddard, and it was. So, the great house that you see on top of Widow's Hill isn't the original Collinwood. The original Collinwood is actually across the estate and was built in 1767 from a fictional standpoint. Now, the real house is called the Sprate Mansion, I believe. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Um, Unfortunately, now you can't go see this mansion because, unfortunately, I believe in 1968 it burned down. Um, which sucks. So, but back to the fictional house, they did use the Sprite Mansion for the backdrop of the old house. So the original Collinwood is built in 1767. You have living in the mansion. You have Joshua, who is Barnabas's father, Jeremiah's brother, Sarah's father. So you have Jeremiah, who is the, or sorry, oh god, I don't think I messed that up. It's all right. It's a Dark Shadows video, right? So Jeremiah is Joshua's brother, younger brother. But here's the thing: he more treats Joshua treats Jeremiah a lot like a kid. In fact, Joshua pretty much treats everybody that way. He's very direct and he's pretty mean at times. Joshua is a stern, hard man. He's, all about business and telling the family what to do. He is the lord and manor of the house. And Jeremiah, his brother, helps him run the business. And then there is Joshua's I should say, wife first, Naomi Collins. And if you guys have heard me talk about Naomi before, I've given you my fan theory about the treasure that she received and how, you know, she got that treasure. We all know in the family history book, they say she received jewels from a pirate. Well, in this Dark Shadows fan's opinion, I believe she was the pirate and stole the jewels for herself. Um, Listen, if a lot of the Collins family members, if what's written is mostly a lie or a perplexed lie, then why can't same thing be said about Naomi, right? So, and then there's Joshua and Naomi's two kids. There's Barnabas, who we're very familiar with. We know he is Josette is going to come and marry him. And then there's Barnabas's sister Sarah, who is a lot younger than Barnabas. Now, interesting enough, at times the way they talk, it almost makes you sound like they're the same age at times. Like Barnabas grew up, like Barnabas is a little kid. They sort of perceive, but I think what they were trying to say was Barnabas maybe has the spirit of a little kid. He hasn't forgotten what it was like. That's just my viewpoint of it. If yours is different, that's fine. So the original Collinwood really was the family's first real legacy house. This it was a staple of the European countries that the family had come from: England, France, etc., etc., etc. They had come. They were immigrants, and they come to America. We know Isaac Collins founded Collinsport. So, and the Collins family, literally became Collinsport because they're it. They're the end all to be all in that town. And the house they first build It's not the great house that we're all familiar with. It's the original Collinwood is the old house, and we know that we do eventually know that Josette does come. Now she's not going to marry Barnabas because of Angelique. We know that there's going to be a duel in the woods, just not that far from the old house, actually. And Jeremiah dies in the old house. Some people might forget that Jeremiah actually, after the duel, dies in the old house. I've always found that fascinating. And Barnabas dies in the old house too, because when the vampire bites him on the neck, he's lying in the bed, he's calling out for Josette. But he dies. He ends up dying, and then we know what happens to Barnabas. We know what he becomes. Vampire! But what an amazing legacy that the Collins family had in that original house. And we know that the history of the family, what Josh was going to have written, is all one big perplexed lie. Jeremiah doesn't die in a duel, according to Joshua, that he goes off, and we also know that, you know, he doesn't write Naomi's death until later. He changes the date of Naomi's death. Like, she lived a very long life, and she didn't. Barnabas goes to England. We know he doesn't. The Sarah Collins, who dies very young, is just wow. It's amazing that this family, Joshua was so proud that he could not bear the shame of what people would think if, you know, his family maybe came under a curse. And Joshua, again, he was just a proud man. And the old house itself, when I think of the old house, what do I think of its legacy is compared to the great house? You know, for all the great houses, rattling chains and empty wings, if you want to look where the ghost really began, the demons really began, look no further, my friends, than the old house across the estate from the great house. So that's my video for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys.